And our first question, Denise, is on the economy and jobs. And it is, do you believe Windsor is out of the recession? And what do you propose to do to promote job creation in Windsor and Essex County?
Well, I think we have turned a corner. I believe that the economic recovery is underway, but I don't think it's fully taken hold yet. But certainly I think the Conference Board of Canada has predicted that Windsor will have the fastest rate of economic growth in the country. And I think that that's a good sign for our area. I think if you look at the Conservative government record of investment in Windsor over the last 5 years and what they have done to stabilize the economy here and to help with job creation through the infrastructure funding, through the economic action plan, and of course through lower taxes, I think that's going to provide the economic stability we need to help move forward in a full recovery. I also think it's important we have, as Conservatives, continued to invest in research and development. We've invested in the university and the college programs here. We've invested in the Federal Development Fund that's supporting local businesses who are commercializing technology. All of those things are going to help to create more jobs, going to help to create growth in the areas that we need to see. We have stabilized the base.
That's a minute, sorry. No, that actually is a minute right there, so we'll move on to the next question. What local environmental issue do you think is most pressing, and what do you propose to do about it as a Member of Parliament?
Well, I think actually there's two things that are pressing for us here locally. I believe air quality certainly is one issue, and the Conservatives have been working with our American counterparts to continue to look at ways in which we can improve air quality, and I think that has to be a focus for us in conjunction with the U.S. because of our proximity and because oftentimes many of the pollutants are coming from the U.S. side of the border. But I also think the area here, because of our proximity to the Great Lakes, we have to continue to focus on that as well. I know as a Conservative government we have invested in the Great Lakes Institute and in some work that's being done to clean up some of the Detroit River and some of the contributing areas. And I think that that has to continue as well in terms of a focus locally. I think that's really important.
Excellent. We'll move on to the next question, and it is on the youth vote. And it is, how has the use of social media affected politics in this campaign?
Well, I think social media is incredibly important. One of the challenges for a candidate is that there's, I believe, 86,000 voters in our riding. And to get out during a campaign and try to meet each and every one of those voters is really challenging. But by using social media, by having a website, by using Facebook, by interacting with voters online, that really allows me to be able to connect and make contact with a lot more of the constituents in this riding. And so I think that that's a useful tool, and I think it's something that's really helping to engage younger voters in the political process. They're comfortable in the social media, and if you can meet them on their ground, then you're having more of an opportunity to be able to really talk about the issues and find out what's important to them.
Great. The next question is on seniors, and it is, do you believe Canada needs a national framework to deal specifically with the large number of people set to retire in the next few years?
Well, I think there's two things that are of concern nationally to the large number of people. If you look at the demographics, the aging population, the first is healthcare and the second is pension. Both of those things actually have a huge component of which is provincial jurisdiction, and one of the things the Conservative government has always done is respect the difference between federal and provincial jurisdictions. That being said, as a government over the past 5 years, we have increased transfer payments to the provinces for healthcare. We have initiated some changes to the Canada Pension Plan, and we have worked very hard right now in an ongoing effort with the provinces to negotiate some changes to pension reform. So I think we need to continue to make efforts in those areas so we can stabilize and the funding for healthcare and ensure that we have the right kind of framework. And as well, we of course in the last budget put $300 million more on the table for low-income seniors to ensure that they have funding that they need through the guaranteed income supplement.
Okay, and we have one last question.
Sure. And
it's a bit of a wild card, and it's one I'm sure you're going to hear a lot door to door from individual voters, and it is, what are you going to do for me if you're elected?
Well, I think the Conservative record over the last 5 years is pretty strong. Windsor-Tecumseh received the highest per capita stimulus funding of any place in all of Canada, and that was because we probably had the greatest need. There was no partisan politics involved in that. Our NDP Canada representatives locally voted against every single dollar of stimulus funding that came this way. They voted against infrastructure funding like the DRIC project. They voted against $9 billion to support the auto industry. On the other hand, the Conservative team that's been in Ottawa, which I would like to be a part of, has stood up for the people of Windsor-Tecumseh, sending dollars here when it was needed, strategic investment in infrastructure, money to support our critical industries like the auto sector. So I'm going to continue to advocate for those types of things. I'm going to advocate for more infrastructure and strategic investment to support the industries that are going to bring growth here to Windsor-Essex. And I'm going to do that from the government side of the House, being able to advocate, I think, that much more strongly.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Denise. This is
You're very
Denise
welcome.
Ghanam of Windsor-Tecumseh.